Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Syndicate Horror Movie Massacre. I almost said discourse. Um, Pardon me while I share this on the Horror Syndicate's Facebook page, because Facebook and StreamYard don't seem to work together in perfect harmony anymore. So it didn't post directly to the Facebook page. It posted some stupid fucking group that's like an event page that nobody fucking looks at. Drives me nuts. Anyway, so tonight, as you saw the banner, that's what you can't have Rage without Ray, obviously. Anyway, you saw the banner, and my what reminds me of the Brady Bunch, top tens of the 2020s so far, 2020 to 2024. We've got Nate with us tonight, and Seth, of course, and we are going to count down our favorite 10 favorite horror movies of the first 5 years of the decade. And yes, it's the first 5 years of the decade. Every year that begins in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. That's the first 5 years. So we're gonna do our own personal list. And the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna go through three honorable mentions, and I cut it off for everybody to make it extra difficult. Believe me, this was difficult for all three of us. And I gave us three honorable mentions, and then we'll go through our top 10. We'll start with Nate, and then Seth, and then myself will go, and we'll kind of go through how we felt about them. And we do have one thing that's going to come up first. I'll ask, or I'll bring it up. And here's Nate, longtime listener, first time caller. No, Nate, you know from the Horror Syndicate Discourse on Sundays. Well, he is coming to us live from locations unknown. Nate, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yes, he's wearing an Indiana Fever hat. Just
Yeah,
to clarify that,
yeah. That's
because
not a MAGA hat. They're
no,
playing. They're playing right now in the Commissioner's Cup, and
is
it's
that
halftime.
the finals for them? I
No,
don't.
it's like a special tournament or champion. They get like $500,000 if they win it, like the team
Oh,
does or something.
that's cool.
But they're
I
playing
know
like
you
the best
become.
team in the leagues, but they are up by like five right now at halftime. So
I hope your team wins. I knew you become a big fan, like you reinvigorated your love affair with the NBA, and now you're really getting into the WNBA, which is great.
yeah, they actually play in the WNBA. They defend each other and then in the women's league. So more fun to watch in some ways.
Yeah, I've never really seen any of. I don't. I'm not a big basketball person though. I always wanted there. I know that in the 1940s there was women's baseball. Of course, a lot of us have seen a league of our own, but I feel like there college softball is big, and I'm wondering why there isn't like a major league softball team. Like, have you ever seen fast pitch softball and how fast they'll throw those damn balls?
Oh
That's
yeah, it's
terrifying.
wild.
It is. So when I was in high school, I played on the baseball team, and we would face the softball girls and play softball. That's harder to hit than a baseball, and they're bigger. It's bizarre. I don't get it, but I think that would be a cool thing. Major League Women's Softball. I think it'd be really cool to see. But let's. Here's I am the beginning. Seth is the end. Kingdom Come. I think I wore that shirt last week, which of course it was your shirt. And I wore it and sent it back to you.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
No, mine's getting a little faded here.
yeah. Well, I'm on my second Kingdom Come shirt. I had my first one I bought in Chicago in 2007, and like the S, like right in this spot, it started to like crack and stuff. So I had to get a new
That's
one.
what's happening to mine.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't
let's
really see
get
it right
another
now.
one. It's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you doing tonight? What's Werewolf Wednesday looking like tomorrow?
Oh, Werewolf Wednesday tomorrow is going to be Silver Bullet with special guest star Nathan Thomas Milner.
And you didn't even think to invite me, and that's my
Well,
favorite werewolf movie.
you are invited,
Yet I have to sit through this and talk to you about this.
but that's in like September or October. So
Thanks to our 70,000 followers, I have to sit through the Howling 3. Nate, you want to come on for that show?
For Howling 3.
Oh, man.
yes, you should, Nate. Do it.
It's going to be a massacre.
It'll be excellent.
Step into my web.
Yeah, but tomorrow night we're going to be talking about Silver Bullet and the novelette Cycle the Werewolf. So
That's cool. That'd be a good show to do.
Yeah, so if you're available, definitely jump on, man.
I
We'll
might
take a
be
quick-
actually. I'll have to look. I know I've got a dinner this. It might be Thursday though. I'll look because I wouldn't mind jumping in at least for the Silver Bullet part because I've never read the novella or whatever it's called.
I'm gonna take a quick break, real quick. I gotta step like 1 minute. I'll be back.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
not basketball, but I got to. Right.
Oh, go ahead. Go take a quick break. Just I'm gonna remove that. Well, we don't need to see his fan. And programming note: next week there will be no horror movie massacre because Seth was lucky enough to get tickets to see Superman. And he's
In
seeing
IMAX.
Superman. Yeah, I would be super excited. Are you gonna do Werewolf Wednesday next week?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Do you know what that topic's gonna be?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can't remember what I scheduled, and I messed up my schedule. So
Yeah, it'll be all right. They'll forgive you. You are the number one werewolf YouTuber on YouTube.
that's right. Hail to the king. Hail to
Hail
the
the
king.
king, baby. Yeah.
But like
Well,
next
yeah,
week,
man.
I'm seeing Superman on Tuesday, and then I'm gonna go again on Thursday, and then probably again on Saturday. That's
I got tickets for Thursday for sure, but I haven't decided if I want to go for a second. I got a busy weekend that weekend. We're going on a toy hunt on Saturday, and then Helena's going to be out one of those days. So I don't know. Well, I might be going to a Cardinal game also. Sean Sheridan wants to chime in. 2020's Pearls is his favorite if he had to pick one. He has to make me watch terrible movies. It's a werewolf. Like, did
Werewolf
you
on
do
Wheels.
Werewolf on Wheels?
That must
Yeah,
be
well.
next week's topic.
Well, there you go.
Holy fuck! I'm gonna have to rewatch
All
that.
right. So we're gonna get this party started with our picks, and Nate's gonna start us off tonight, and he's got the 3 honorable mentions. First of all, actually, before we even do that, I almost forgot. I do have one question I want to ask before we jump into everything. If you guys are cool with that. What?
Okay.
No, go ahead.
I'm not muted anymore. I was muted.
I was just gonna say Nate's muted. But
Oh, okay. My bad.
Not a bad question, Bert.
Well, so my burning question is pretty simple. What has been the best year in the 2020 so far as horror movies go? What do you guys think?
2022.
And we'll see why in a moment. Nate says that. Seth, what about you? What do you think? I agree with Nate right now. 2022 was probably the best.
so I'm gonna just take Nate's word on it because I don't remember, like, even the list I put together. I don't remember the exact years that they came out.
Well, Seth, those are the
Nate, I
effects of
trust.
smoking marijuana. So
That is true.
No,
That is true.
no. I mean, the only reason I remember is because I have I listed everything in a doc, and so when I was looking through, by the way, my list changed from what I sent you guys because I went back through. I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. Oh, I forgot about this. And so my list has changed. So don't.
I'm
be
sure
sad.
there's things that I forgot about on my list.
Mhm.
I kind of rushed mine together.
Well, it's still. I mean, still got 2 fucking werewolf movies on there. So you did something right. I think
prioritized.
for you though, Seth, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 movies from 2024 on yours, and 2 of them are werewolf movies.
So I must have liked that year.
I think you just like werewolf movies.
Could be that.
All right, so Nate, let's get started off with your honorable mentions if you're ready for this.
Okay.
The first one we'll go with the longest title of all time: Human Vampire Seeking
like a
Consenting Suicidal Person.
like
Tell
a
us a little bit
band,
about this one. Why you
like
like
a band name from the 1960s.
Yeah.
This is a French film that came out last year. I saw it late, but as soon as I saw it, I think I made it like my second or third favorite of the year. It's just really quirky and fun. Like this girl here, um, she is a vampire, and her whole family are vampires. And it starts off with her having a birthday party, I think, and a clown. They like rented a clown. And the clown's trying to entertain them, but they've actually like planned to kill or have her kill the clown to be her first victim. And she has like this really great empathy for human. Like she doesn't want to kill, and she can't kill, and she can't make her fangs grow to attack because she just doesn't want to kill. So her mother and her father have to continuously get food for her, and and but she's trying to solve it because they're like, look, you can't rely on us for your whole life. You're going to have to kill. You're going to have to feed for yourself. And so she ends up running into this young boy, and I think she's kind of suicidal herself, and then she runs into this teenage boy who's suicidal, and it's kind of like they meet in a group, and it's kind of like maybe we can help each other out. He wants to die, she needs blood, so it's just this. This is a dark comedy, but I just really loved it. It's well made, well acted, and it's just probably one of my top 10 vampire movies because I just really like vampire movies that go in a different way, like Park Chan Wook's Thirst or Martin or A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night or stuff like that. Let the Right One In. So yeah, I just really love this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It's one I didn't see. I don't think Seth saw it either.
No,
In 2023, maybe. Can't remember.
I think it may be on Shudder now. So
yeah, it is on Shudder. Yeah, totally streaming on Shudder right now.
you guys should check it out. I highly recommend it.
So put that on your list if you haven't seen it. The movie with one of the longest titles I've ever seen. There's a couple of those on our list today. Another honorable mention for Nate tonight is one of the first horror movies of the decade, actually. And once I find the image, we'll talk about it. Oh, there it is. The Invisible Man.
Man, last movie before the pandemic. I think
Yeah.
saw it in theater. Yeah, I just think this is a solid movie. I mean, you got great direction, great new version of this story. I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with the original Universal film. But Elizabeth Moss is always fantastic, and she is completely unhinged and paranoid in this film. Some
For good reason.
really creative filmmaking and use of the Invisible Man, and it's kind of like it kind of echoes some of those '90s movies where a woman's married or stuck with an abusive husband or psychopathic husband, and but in this case, Julia Roberts and her what was that movie, Sleeping with the Enemy?
Sleeping with the Enemy, yeah.
He's invisible now. But no, I every time I watch this movie, it was easy to forget because the pandemic did that to us, And I remember when we did the episode on this one, it was like, damn, this is a fantastic movie. Like I liked it I loved it when it came out, but because the world fell apart after it came out. When I went back to it, I was like, wow, like this is solid. This is really good stuff. And I think it kind of, ruined Wolfman this year because he set a bar so high with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree. I was kind of thinking that is like he did such a good job. When you said this isn't much like the original, and I was like Wolfman, but this was tons better than Wolfman in my opinion.
And Wolfman's got its merit. I think if we didn't compare it to the Wolfman, if it wasn't the Wolfman, I don't think it's a bad movie, but this one is just, I think it should be up there with one of the best remakes ever.
It's good. I actually, spoiler alert, it's in my top 10. Seth, did you have this? This isn't in your top 10. I thought you really enjoyed this one.
I do. It's again, like I said, when I went to put my list together, I was kind of going off of memory, and this one kind of slipped my mind.
The pandemic strikes again.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but, I mean, it's like Sean Sheridan pointed out. It's like the last movie I saw in the theater before they all closed down, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good film. It's Nate said it's doesn't have much in common with the James Whale film or the novel, but it's kind of a unique take, and Lee Whannell does really good with like building up suspense and tension of just moving the camera in a room. It's like, okay, where is the Invisible Man? That's really cool. So I enjoyed this. I forgot about it, so that's why it's not on my list.
If it made your list, it would knock out Werewolves, though. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
That's true. That's true. I can't have that.
No. Last honorable mention for Nate is Strange Darling. Oh, I didn't get a good enough image. Damn it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Personally, I did not like this movie, but go ahead.
Yeah, I went in this with a lot of hype because I listened to Joe Dante's podcast, and he had the writer-director on there. Oh, actually, he had Giovanni Ribisi on there, and Giovanni was the cinematographer on this movie, which kind of shocked me. It's like, oh wow, he's doing cinematography now. And Giovanni's like enthusiasm and his knowledge of cinematography was really infectious. And then they said, go into it blind, don't know anything. It's just, and that's what I really, I liked. It's almost got like a Tarantino approach to time, like non-linear storytelling, where you're given things out of order and you're unraveling the mystery. And like if it played out straight, it wouldn't have its power. It wouldn't work.
That's why I didn't like it.
Yeah, it works really well because you're getting information and you're finding out what happened. It's just um, two really good performances from. I'm a big fan of Kyle Gallner, and this
Yeah,
actor I can't remember what her name is, but the only thing I had seen, I had no idea it was her. I'd seen her. She was on the first season of Reacher, the television version of the Jack Reacher stuff, and she played this.
Willa Fitzgerald.
Yeah, and she played this kind of. She was like the local deputy, nice girl, blonde in town that Reacher comes to, like small town girl, girl next door, country girl who's a deputy, and that's not exactly what we see in this movie. So I don't know. It was beautiful to look at. Again, they shot it on film. It's got these rich, great colors, and the color grading is fantastic. The grain of the film. Um, I just really, really dug this movie. It should. I mean, this is how. This is a top 10 of the decade, and it's in my honorable mentions. That's how hard it is to narrow these things down. Um, I mean, there's so many movies that we're having to leave off of this, and there's going to be movies on this list. I'm definitely have one that everyone's going to be like, "Fuck, what are you dumb?" But it's but that's what it is. These are our personal movies, and we all react to different things and differently. And I just really dug this movie.
The one you're referring to, I have some thoughts on it that are not very negative, but I know why you enjoy it, and we'll get to that momentarily, actually. Seth, what were you going to say?
Oh, well, all I was saying was I think I can top Nate with having a couple of dumb titles on my list.
Well, I mean, Werewolf Castle did not make the list, so I think we're okay. Anyway,
No, I mean, I like when it comes
did you
to
watch that one, Nate?
I don't think I did watch that one.
Ugh.
But you know, that's the thing about that. These are our personal favorites, and you know, I I I don't believe in ragging anybody for what they like. You know, like that's your list. Like I don't get that when I make a list. Someone says, like earlier, someone on the website, you asked on the Facebook page for other people to give their top 10. And
Mhm.
I put Halloween Kills on it. And one of the comments was, Halloween Kills, really? And it's like, dude, go fuck yourself. All right. Like, he can like Halloween Kills. There's nothing wrong with Halloween. I mean, you may not like it, but the bottom line is, I think it's cool when I see that. I'm like, I, I think it's interesting that every movie has fans,
Yeah.
and there's for different reasons, right? It's not like you may think it's shit, and I mean, that's what's so beautiful about fandom and about art is that it speaks to people differently. I've talked about it 1,000 times on here. I've worked enough artist alleys where there's 300 artists and people walk right past me and go to the guy next door, but then the next person will pass him and come right to my table. Just how it is. We respond to art differently, and we know it immediately. And there's different things that speak to us. So to criticize somebody for what they like or what they don't like, you know, it's too personal to mock somebody over it. I mean, you can fuck with your buddies, we can fuck with each other. Ah, you like that shit, but we don't mean it. It's out of
I don't
love.
know,
It's
Nate.
fight.
His top three are Halloween Kills, Terrifier 2, and Terrifier 3. But 4 is the
Hey,
substance, so I like this
thing
guy
about
now.
Terrifier. Well, the thing about Terrifier is like I enjoyed the second one. I thought the
Far more than
first
the
one.
first, for sure.
I thought the first one had promise. The third one is not bad. It's more of like they're just not my thing. If they're not that they're not my thing. It's that it's not what excites me. It's not they're not going to be my favorite movies. But I understand the people who needed those movies because that genre of film wasn't being made anymore. Those splatter films, those hard R, just gore, kill, like it's not my thing at 50 years old, but it was at one point, and I get it. There hasn't been that. The closest we've had since that, before Terrifier came along, was the torture porn films. And those kind of been out of vogue for 20 years or 15 years. So Terrifier filled a void because between the torture porn and Terrifier was a lot of ghost movies and a lot of found footage movies and a lot of remakes and a lot of Bloomhouse and A24, the stuff that these guys hate. And Terrifier was like, oh, that's the movie that speaks to me. That's the movie I've been waiting for. So I can't fault them for loving Terrifier. I can fault them when they tell me everything I like is shit and Terrifier is the best thing ever made, because it's not true. It's just like, that's what you like. This is what I like. And it's cool. I'm a horror fan. We can live in harmony. I'm just excited that there are people excited about the horror genre, and the horror genre is still kicking ass all the time.
I think my view on Terrifier, and it's not really negative. It was for a while, but I think that we've lived in a generation, all of us, the three of us, where we had wonderful horror icons, Freddy, Michael Myers, Jason, and Art the Clown is filling that void, as you mentioned.
Oh
For a
yeah,
lot of these people who are getting into horror now, that's their Freddy. You know, I mean, people will probably go, "Oh, fuck you, that's not like Freddy." It's not what I'm saying. It's like their Freddy, like how much we loved Freddy back in the 80s and 90s.
yeah. They deserve to have that, and really, it's someone just said Hatchet.
Hatchet
For
was
some
cool.
people, Victor Crowley was their guy for that. And it's like
Mhm.
it's just a continuation, and again, and no matter how you feel about Terrifier, it is damn hard to create a horror icon. So hats off, man, to
Yeah.
them for what they did with Art the Clown because everywhere I look, Art the Clown's there. I'm seeing toys at Walmart. I mean, fuck. I mean, that's that's pretty impressive.
I know that actually is impressive. Yeah.
For a cosplayer to get a role in a movie, an independent movie, and become an icon like David has, is not easy. And so I can't take anything away from them. They may not be my number one movies, but I respect that they've been successful and people love them. My cousin's son just got into horror, and that's he wanted to meet David, and he got to meet him locally at Louisville recently, and he was excited, made his day, had a great day, and I'm like, it's like me meeting Robert Englund. Maybe not exactly because I had a long love affair with Robert Englund before I met him, but he's excited about Art the Clown and Terrifier, and he's getting into Michael Myers too. So there we go.
And David's a great guy, actually. We had him on the show, and I've met him in person too a couple times. All right, Nate, you ready to unleash your top 10? Are you 100% sure this is your top 10 as of right now for the half decade?
I'm comfortable with it. There are a few that I would love to see on there, but I'm comfortable with this. Order.
I knew when I said 10 and only 3 honorable mentions, you were probably like, that son of a bitch. He's gonna put me in a box.
It's hard for me to do 10 per year, so 10
I know.
for 5 years.
I know.
That's
We
tough.
always change the number at the end of the year. It's either 30, 25, or somewhere in there is a sweet spot, because we all generally watch between 35, 40, in some one year I think I did close to 70. I know you have.
I watch about 50 to 60 every year.
Yeah, it's
because I want to be as thorough as we can for the show.
Mhm.
I miss things if I can't.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to definitely pay makeup this year. But let's start with your number 10. We've got the Queen of Black Magic. This is I can't remember where it's from.
It's an Indonesian film.
Indonesian, that's it. Yeah.
And this was one that I watched right before we did our show that year, and I watched it. I wrote you guys in the group, and I said, I think I have a new number one for the year. It blew me away. It's a kind of a loose remake of a 1981 film, which I still haven't watched yet. Same, Indonesian film. But this movie just delivered in so many ways. It was kind of like, if I had to compare it, it's almost like, I actually think you would like it, Ray. I think you should watch it because I know you like the Evil Dead 2013 version.
A lot.
I think it has some Evil Dead elements into it, and it has the gruesome nature of the 2013 one. It's about these former orphans who are now grown up and have families, and they've gone back to the orphanage where they were raised because the man who took care of them and raised them is on his deathbed. And on the way there, it's like it's out in the country, and they run over something. The husband's falling asleep, and he runs over something, and he thinks it's like a deer or something, but it keeps nagging at him. So he drives back out there, and it's a little girl in a ditch. He hit a little girl, and the orphans are not there. Like the bus that they were on a trip, and they find the bus, and all the orphans are dead on the bus, and there's like all this evil and demon shit going on. Like, I don't want to ruin it. It's just batshit crazy movie, and it's one of those movies that just keeps escalating and changing, and some amazing weird Deadite type shit. Like, they're not Deadites, but
I am drawn to that shit escalation.
I really highly, I think
you know what,
better.
That's going to be my new profile. We're saying I am drawn to batshit escalation.
Well, the Queen of Black Magic. I think you said you hadn't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it.
I'd really love to see what you all think of this one if you haven't, because
I think it's the only one you have that I haven't seen. No, there's 2 of yours I haven't seen.
Is that streaming anywhere? Do you know?
It's on Shudder.
It is, okay.
Yeah, it instantly became my favorite of the year, and I watched it again, maybe last year. And
I remember that when you messaged us, I found it my new number one. I'm like,
And I need to get to the first one. I think the first one ended up being pulled. Maybe I don't know if it's on Shutter anymore, and that's why I didn't get around to it. But I'm interested to see what the 1981 version of this is.
Wonder if it's like a low quality, kind of rough looking, like Evil Dead, the original.
I think it felt like it was a little more quirky and colorful, almost like the 1977 movie House, the Japanese movie. Which have you guys seen that one?
Which one?
House, the Japanese.
No, no, from 1977.
Yeah,
No, I haven't seen that. I've heard that's batshit crazy though.
that would be it. That like you can compare it to that a little bit too. That one's a lot more wilder than this, of course, but and more cartoon. It is, I don't know. House is hard to explain, but it is. That would be a nice audio commentary show for us to do. Like watching House together would be. It would be fun. That'd be a party movie.
Well, maybe we'll have to do that one if it's streaming somewhere. That'd be a fun one to do. We haven't seen, which you've seen, but still, we can do that.
Yeah.
All right, and number 9 for you is No One Will Save You.
Yeah, that was my favorite of that year too. I just really dug. Again, like sometimes you talk about gimmicks. This is almost a silent film. There's not. I think there's like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue total in the movie. And it's just like this isolated movie. Caitlin Dever, who I love, I think she's great. She's doing a fantastic job on Last of Us, and I'd really liked her in like Booksmart and a few other movies I'd seen her in. And she plays this kind of pariah in town, of this little town. She's like a seamstress or something. Her mother and her best friend have died, and so she's alone. And when she goes into town, people just treat her like shit, and we don't really understand why. And she comes home, and it's at night, and her home is invaded by an alien. And it's almost like Signs in that manner. Like, because, one of the things that was cool about Signs was, I think M. Night Shyamalan said, most of the time when we see alien invasion movies, it's usually from the military perspective or scientists or like the big cities. But what happens when an invasion happens in a small rural town and you're just like in your farmhouse? And that's kind of how this is. And she gets her home invaded by this alien and kind of has a fight with it. And, things start to unfold and the mystery of why she was hated or treated so shitty in town. Um, I just really dug it. I didn't know much about it when I watched it. I think it didn't go into theaters. I think it was streaming on Shutter or
Hulu, straight to Hulu.
Straight to Hulu. And I just really, really liked it. And every time I watched it, I liked it the same. So I know it was mixed responses to it, but I don't know. And I really dug its ending, and I don't know. I just really, really like this one.
I liked it better the second time around, and because the first time around I was like, I get it, it's cool. But I actually, the second time I watched, I was like, okay, I get this movie. And this was in my top 10 originally, and I just moved it out because there's 3 other movies I forgot about. Because I also went back and looked at my list, and I was like, I feel like my number 1s and 2s should probably be in this list. But anyway, yeah, this was a good movie. Seth, did you see this one?
I did.
You hated it. I knew it.
No, I didn't hate it. There was, there was definitely some good stuff in it, but it's just, I don't know. It just wasn't my kind of movie, I guess.
Yeah.
I know when I watched it with Amber, she loved it. But it was one of those that didn't really connect with me.
I get that totally. It's definitely, I like the alien design.
I think there's a lot of really good stuff in it, right? And I think it's like well directed. I love the experiment of it, where it is almost like a silent film. If I remember correctly, there's actually some really cool scenes in the house with the aliens. It's just, I think overall, I was just when it ended, I was glad that it was over.
It's no werewolves or whatever.
Mhm.
It's no werewolves on wheels.
That's true. That's true. All right, coming in at number 8 for Nate. Everybody groan.
Really? Halloween Ends? The
Oh,
worst Halloween movie ever made?
is still Resurrection.
Still Resurrection, absolutely. Yeah, I really loved the 2018 movie. I really like what David Gordon Green did. I think he he made three very different movies. His first trilogy. He didn't just keep repeating himself. Um, he obviously liked the franchise, and because you see, I've said this, and I'll defend his movies so much because you know a lot of the filmmakers that worked on this series, with maybe the exception of like Alan, who wrote Halloween 4, wasn't that Alan McElroy?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah, like Alan was a true blue fan of Halloween, and so I guess
I
so was the
love
guy
that
that wrote
little
Halloween,
nightmares slip in there, buddy. I'm right there with you.
and so was the guy that wrote Halloween 6, right? He was a big fan of.
Joe Chappelle or whatever.
No,
Is
not
that who it was?
the writer, the Ferrans, the Daniel.
Oh,
Daniel
What's his name?
Friends.
yeah, Daniel
Yeah.
Frank.
So those are the two guys I know were like really
I'm
diehard
embarrassed.
fans, and I guess Kevin Williamson had a play in H2O, and I know obviously he was a big fan because I mean Scream wouldn't exist probably without Halloween, but a lot of the people who helmed Halloween movies or got Halloween movies weren't exactly like diehard fans and didn't really care, especially like Halloween 5 and all that. Like, didn't give a shit about continuity or keeping with it. And David Gordon Green peppers his trilogy with so many nods to the whole franchise.
Even Halloween 3.
Respect to him, and even just John Carpenter. I mean, Halloween Ends is a tribute to John Carpenter. It's Halloween and Christine tossed together in a whole in very many ways. Um, but I like that he.
Here you go, Nate. Underrated. I respect they went in a whole different direction with Ends. There you go.
Yeah, like because I wasn't excited for Ends because it was being marketed as Laurie Strode fights Michael Myers again, and I'm like, who fucking wants to see that? I've seen that over and over and over. My God, I don't want to see that again. And so then I didn't really know what we were gonna get, and I don't think I think I was actually traveling home when this movie premiered on Peacock or whatever it was. And so I didn't go to the theaters and see it. Like I did eventually, but this was the first Halloween movie since Part 6 that I hadn't seen in theaters first because my expectations were so low. I was like, because I didn't like kills much, which changed after I watched it a couple times. I started to appreciate kills more, but I came home, I watched it, and I didn't love it the first time.
I think all three of us had that sentiment.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I get why it is. Like the people don't like it, but then I watched it a couple more times, and I just started to really freaking love it, and I just loved that he decided to make a love story. You know, he made this movie. It was super violent and angry and aggressive for the second one, and so in the third one, he's like, no, love lives today or whatever the tagline was, and but I liked the whole triple factor of like how people deal with trauma or deal with evil, and we have these three main characters that deal with it. And I get it. I get people understanding that Corey being introduced in the third act is a weird third act. I get all the arguments, and they're all legit. The things that people don't like this movie for are legitimate reasons. I get it. But I just really embraced Corey. I liked Corey. I liked the performance of Corey. I liked the handling the trauma. I love the soundtrack. This has the best Halloween soundtrack as far as needle drop music. Everything from like the Cramps and the Dead Kennedys and the opening kind of '60s Monster Hop, Midnight Monster Hop, and the Johnny Goth song where they're riding a motorcycle. And it's just this kind of goth electronica song. I don't know, synth song, and I don't know. I just really dug this movie, and every time I watch it, so I know it's like it gets hate on as much as like when Rob Zombie made his movies, and people just wanted to like argue with you for 4 hours about how bad Rob Zombie's Halloween movies are. That's This one is many people's eyes the worst one ever, and it's like to me, I'm just like I just don't see that. I've seen far worse Halloween movies than this, and
Halloween Resurrection.
yeah. So I don't know. I know it's the odd man out thing where
Yeah,
some people may like it and like things about it, but they just can't.
there are fans of this. We just did the five
Oh,
star
there are.
rating for Halloween, and Halloween Ends didn't fare as bad as I thought it would. So
Well, there definitely are because uh,
just like those Last Jedi fans.
like Ron Campbell does very well at conventions. I noticed. Like when I went and met him, he had a pretty long line. So again, that's what it is. Like every one of these movies has diehard fans. I've joked, like we talked about Resurrection. I got hired to do. I've done Blu-ray covers for almost every movie in the franchise, and I got hired to do a Resurrection cover. And when I got hired to do a Resurrection cover and it came out, I got added to a Facebook group that was all about Halloween Resurrection fans, and there were people in there where that's their favorite Halloween movie.
Yeah, and to
And the,
Seth, that's paradise. That's peace, bliss on earth.
and the guy that started this, that's his favorite horror movie ever is Halloween Resurrection. So, and
Dude,
a
I
lot
could
of
run a Freddy's Dead page, and because I love that movie, so I
well,
get
like
it.
it's like yeah, there's people who the way people feel about this movie or the way people feel about Freddy's Revenge, and it's like, but I love that movie. I know you guys love that movie,
Yeah,
and so. And at one point in time, people felt this way about Halloween 3, and they felt this, and there's still people who feel this way about Halloween 4, or Nightmare on
dude,
Elm Street
Halloween 4 is
4,
awesome.
or all these slasher movies. We can go through the Friday the 13th movies, and there's people who hate this one, but then if you say something, people are like, "Man, I love that. That's my favorite one." So I don't hide from loving this movie. I don't. I have no problem saying I love this movie. It just
So would you say Love Lives Today?
yes,
But
Loveless
evil dies tonight.
Evil dies.
No, I knew it. My thoughts aren't like I don't really care for this Halloween Ends overall, but I think it's a good movie. So it's like really strange because it's a good movie, but I don't like it as a Halloween movie. If that makes any sense, because I think Corey's a compelling character. It is beautifully shot. It's got to be one of the best shot Halloween movies. Period.
Well, I
And
wish they
the
hadn't killed
score is
him.
great. The music's great. Yeah, there's a lot to this.
I just wish they hadn't killed him because, but I guess he knew he was ending his trilogy, and that's the problem.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
thing is, like,
Painted
we've
into a corner almost.
we've got to get rid of Michael Myers at some point because he's 60 something years old at this point. Like, we can't just have Michael Myers coming out again and again. It has to be because it's not Michael Myers; it's the shape. It needs to. It can pass. It should. It's an entity. It should. It's going to run out its vessel's lifeline.
Oh wait, go
What's
Seth.
that got to say?
You're talking about him like he was a man. That part of him died years ago.
That's right. He's not.
Yes.
He's not Michael Myers. He's the shape. It's like that man's gone. Like that human person is gone, and nothing. It's just this evil thing. And so,
As long as he has the blackest eyes,
yeah.
I'm good.
But the thing is, like Corey never became. Corey to me was never the shape because Corey had motive.
Yeah.
Everybody he went after, he premeditated.
It was
Michael
revenge.
Myers, like the shape doesn't have any judgment or motive. It just kills. It's just like a shark. I eat whatever it's come in front of me. That Corey was pretending to be the shape. He was corrupted by the power because he was a powerless person who was angry and mad at the world. And he used the shape's persona to get back at people that hurt him and hurt her and people who were keeping him from being with her. So it's a really twisted love story, but also the story of a nerd who's getting revenge, kind of again like Arnie and Christine, was Arnie, you know, possessed by Christine, or was he possessed by what the influence of Christine? You know, and the evil that resides in Christine, because Christine's not a living thing; it's something evil in the car. So just like there's something evil in the mask or whatever it is that the shape is. Just an interesting story. I think it could have been the movie everyone wanted, which was Laurie Strode fights Michael Myers again, and I would have been like bored to death with that.
I mean, technically, she did fight him again.
She
Also,
did,
so
but it's
it took the entire movie to get there.
yeah.
I think that's probably their problem. I mean, it's that fight was going to last 10 minutes at most anyway. I'm going to cap this off with one thing: death to all the shitters of the world. All right. Number 7.
Nope. And another one. Anytime you say Jordan Peele, everyone's like, nope. And that's why he named the movie that. It was kind of a jab at his haters. I just think that when I go see the Jordan Peele film, I'm seeing something I haven't seen before. And
Well, you are, but it's wrapped differently.
yeah, I mean, you're seeing like to be bold about this, Quentin Tarantino would take genres that we hadn't seen in a while, and he would filter them through his own personal choices and tastes. So Pulp Fiction was this groundbreaking movie in the 1990s, but it was the plot lines were just three recycled plot lines that pulp magazines used again and again and again. Pulp novels, you know, the fighter who doesn't throw the fight, the boss, the henchman that falls in love with the boss's wife and fucks up, and yeah, that type of stuff. So you take these. So he took this genre of this alien thing, and he gave it to us in a way that I've never seen it before. And he the characters that he creates, like I'm just really interested in, and I love Daniel. I've watched Daniel do anything. I think he's great, but Kiki's also great in this movie. But she's also like that movie that came out this year, the one with her and SZA or whatever, SZA, or was really great. And she, I've been enjoying her since she did like the Keela and the Bee, that spelling bee movie that made her famous. And then you got Michael Wincott in this great role as a cinematographer. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And then Stephen Ewan, who's always really great. It was just so interesting. Like his movies, and like they look nice. They I don't know. There's just one of the I keep thinking of Tarantino because Tarantino is one of those directors that when I went to see his movies, I felt like I was seeing a movie that only he could make. Like they just have a stamp on them, and they're always interesting, and they keep me glued. And that's how Jordan Peele's movies have been. Get Out, Us, and this are three very different movies from one another, but they're just interesting. They're I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I know there's people out there like, oh, he sucks. He's horrible. I can't agree with it. I think he's just one of the best horror filmmakers.
I can't wait to see his next project, honestly.
Yeah. He's always going to do something interesting.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not a huge fan of Nope. I only watched it once, I think, once or twice, maybe, because I do have the Blu-ray. But these other two, I loved, and I'm gonna be there for the next one. So yeah, I love Jordan Peele anyway. He's fucking hilarious. I can never get enough Key and Peele.
Yeah.
So, you know, uh, you are blank. What?
Mhm.
Okay, whatever, Sean. So the next one on your list, Nate, I don't think either of us saw Bones and All. I
You
totally
guys
forgot about this until today.
You guys got to watch this. This is so great. This is such a good movie. Made by Luca, you know, who made Suspiria remake and Call Me by Your Name and Challengers. I think was the last movie he made with Zendaya. Maybe he made another one since then. Anyway, this is a very unique kind of love story. It's just odd. I think it's set in either the late '80s or early '90s, and this young girl is they never really explain what they are. It almost has a Stephen King kind of vibe in terms of I guess you could say she's a vampire in some way, but she's not a vampire because whatever she is, they eat human flesh, but they can eat bones and all. Like they eat you completely. And so she has this bloodlust or craving that she needs and she's living with her father and they've kind of lived a nomadic life. They kind of move town to town because what happens is she'll get a thirst and she'll attack someone and then they got to run out of town. And so in the beginning of this movie, she has one of those fits where she's at a sleepover with some girls from school and she bites one of them, like bites her finger off or something. And she comes home and dad's like, again? So they have to move out, move to the next town, and she wakes up one morning and he's left. He says, "I can't do it anymore. I can't keep doing this." So she's left on her own, and I guess she's probably like 17 or 16, 18, so and so she's now on her own and she's trying to survive in the world and she runs into Mark Rylance, who is this guy named I'm forgetting his name, but he's this awkward, weird guy, really awkward guy, really, and it's an amazing performance. All three of them are great in it. But Mark Rylance is like her. He said, "I could smell you." He could like sense. They could sense each other, almost like werewolves or something, you know. And he kind of takes her under his wing, kind of teaching her how to, you know, exist and feed. And then Timothy Chalamet is also one of them, and she runs into that and him. And it's just this really interesting road movie about these people who are not normal, you know, and need to feed on people. So it's kind of a unique take on the vampire mythos, I think.
Yeah, I do want to see this one. It's not streaming anywhere where it's available, but it's I've heard good things not only from you but in general. I've heard good things over the last couple of years, so it's definitely one that's on my list. It's just I'm at a point in my life where I can't just blind buy movies anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I almost said, "Oh, I just blind bought Nosferatu." Never mind, I saw that like twice in the theater, uh, so that's not right. But yeah, it's definitely one I want to check out. I've heard good things, and plus Chalamet is a really, really, really talented actor. So, uh,
Oh, David Gordon Green's in it too. He has a little cameo.
oh, is he really?
He's one of
Nice.
yeah. They run into his two rednecks. And he's one of the rednecks.
He should, have paid more attention to his movie that year. I'm just saying. No, coming in at number 5, one of the best, 100%, Pearl.
Pearl's just. I loved X. I thought X was fantastic.
Yep.
Ty West. I know you're a big fan of Ty West. I think Ty West is one of the best filmmakers in the genre of the last,
Just wait till you see my list.
15 years, 20 years. And when he made X felt like one of the closest to Texas Chainsaw Massacre films I'd ever seen. Like he knows. Ty is a student of cinema and film. You know, Paul Schrader is actually an admirer. You know, Paul Schrader is one of the most critical filmmakers. You know, screenwriting. He wrote my favorite movie, Taxi Driver, and he's always very critical. And he says that Ty West is fantastic, but he's hung up on this slasher shit. He wishes that he would do movies. He wishes he would do movies above that. You know, because he thinks he's better than that genre. And but thinking of that, he did just make a trilogy of slashers. And again, going back to like what I said about David Gordon Green, he made 3 very different movies set in 3 different time periods, all with 3 different styles. You know, the first one was very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The second one, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a Technicolor Wizard of Oz, you know, classic 40s, 50s, even 30s. It's like a musical without music. You know?
Yeah.
And then the third one was a Brian De Palma, you know, thriller, sex thriller kind of movie, and about Hollywood. But out of the trilogy, this is by far, I think, the most interesting one, the most beautiful one, and led by a truly unforgettable performance by Mia Goth. And it's also the movie where I watched it and went, that guy should play Superman. And holy hell, he got the part.
Yeah. True. And the funny thing is, he's got a mustache, just like the reason, you know, people hated Justice League was Henry Cavill and his mustache.
Got a mustache. Yeah. But this movie is just wonderful in every way. It's like I can't think of a movie like Pearl. It's also got a grindhouse kind of vibe. It's almost like,
yeah, it does.
I could kind of latch it on to like Deranged. For some reason, Deranged comes to mind. The Alan Ormby Ed Gein movie.
Mm-hmm.
Took that and mixed it with Wizard of Oz. No, it's glorious. It's a glorious film. Had to be in top 10.
Yeah, I agree. It's well, I don't want to spoil my list. Number 4 is Prey.
Prey, yeah, this is my second favorite Predator movie. Like Predator, the original Predator is in my top 10 favorite films of all time. I still remember the night I saw Predator, and I liked Predator 2. And I really haven't hated any of the Predator movies. I didn't like the Predator versus Alien movies, but this one, you know, felt like a return to form in that you stripped it down. Because one of my favorite things about the original Predator was once everyone's gone and it's just Dutch versus the Predator.
Yeah, that's the best part of the movie.
That whole third chapter. I mean, I really love the whole thing because, like, the whole going into the men on a mission and the way that they operate and the way they go in. And I love Mac. I love Billy. I love all those characters. It's a really good team movie because everyone feels like they matter in Predator. Like they all stand out. They all have personality. No one's forgettable in Predator. But once it gets to Dutch having to face this thing mano a mano in nature, using the elements and tricking it and setting booby traps. So I like that we get that movie where we get a savage, primal. It's again the hero's journey. She is the young brave who is facing the monster in the scary woods, you know, and has to outthink it. And we see her doing that, you know, trying to outthink the animals. And I just thought it was really well written and structured, and she's fantastic in it. And I'm really excited with what this filmmaker is doing with this franchise because Predator: Killer of Killers was incredible. That came out this year. incredible movie, and I'm really excited. It made me even more excited for Badlands. I just freaking love Prey. I thought it was a movie that I wish had gone to the theaters. It deserved to be on the big screen. Um, I don't know. I just really dug its simplicity and its execution. And guess what Predator needed? It needed simplicity. It needed to go back to that.
Yeah, this was a fun movie. Me and the kids just sat around and watched. We didn't even move. We just sat there and watched this movie. It was really good. I wish it would have gone to theater also.
Maybe one day they'll get a release for it in the theater. Like,
I don't. Did we not even get a physical release? I don't think.
No, there it is. Yeah,
Is it?
I,
Okay.
they
yeah, I
did.
got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I had to get that Blu-ray. I don't buy many movies anymore like that, but I did buy this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. I think it's still on Hulu too, or Disney Plus at this point.
And they have a version in the native language, so I believe, and which was really, is it Navajo? Are they Navajo? I can't remember.
Navajo.
I can't remember.
They have it in the native language, which was, I wish that had been the way I'd seen it first, because like it was a little awkward seeing them speak English, but yeah, I really love this movie.
Okay, now we can go to number 3.
Yeah,
Nosferatu.
Yeah, I'm a big Eggers fan. Loved everything he's done. And, all 3 Nosferatu films are top-notch A-plus movies. Like, Murnau's movie is one of the very best of the silent era, not just in horror, but of the silent film. And then Herzog's remake is exceptional as well.
Absolutely.
And this one, he showed his love for it. He was passionate about it. He fell in love with the original movie when he was 8. He's been wanting to do it since he was 8. And it's just masterclass filmmaking, in my opinion. I know there's some people probably disagree because they don't like the mustache. That's all it takes nowadays is one or two elements. And I get it. Like, we're so locked into that Max Schreck look of the vampire, which was, of course, incredible. But, I agree with Robert. Like, this is how he would have looked in reality. That's how they all looked. I mean, I've got a mustache right now because I'm playing a Russian, constable and Fiddler on the Roof. So that's how they all had mustaches, So just part in the way they dressed was how they dressed, and but I just thought, of course, the cinematography is top notch. The art direction, he's such a stickler for details and accuracy, and a historian, and he comes from art direction, so he takes that deadly serious. And I'm not just a really gothic horror, something that's kind of hard to sell nowadays, and I'm glad that we had a gothic horror film that seemed to be successful.
Don't forget about the score. This has an amazing score.
Oh yeah, the score is top notch as well.
It's one of Seth's biggest things about movies is and I agree with him, and Nate, you probably agree with him too, is the score has got to be as good as the movie itself, and yeah, this does have a fantastic score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this will be seen again. Number 2, we visit 2022 again for Barbarian.
Barbarian was just a wild ride from beginning to end. That's what I liked about it. Like, in one of those movies that I didn't know where we were going, and it feels like you know where it's going in the beginning, and it turns left, and then all of a sudden Justin Long turns up, and it just
All that
becomes,
shit goes down, and all of a sudden Justin Long's driving along in his car, singing along to a song.
yeah, and it's
It's like, what the
really,
fuck?
and then I'm like laughing my ass off for
Yeah.
the next half hour, and then it changes again and goes into this wild, like then the flashbacks with Richard Brake and all that, and like
Mhm.
it's
Those were
just,
good.
yeah, like it was just I'm really excited for Weapons this year, his follow up movie. Um, yeah, I just
Don't worry, this comes up again.
really liked it.
Yeah, I love Barbarian. It's on my list. Maybe not Seth's list.
It's not on
I showed
not on Sean's list.
not on Sean's list. Yeah, I
I,
showed
I
up.
like I did like Barbarian, and I went into it blind, and the only thing I knew about it was from Zach Kreger, who one of my favorite sketch shows ever is The Whitest Kids You Know, and he started off with that, and I think it's really good. It's just one that I've never been really compelled to rewatch.
I liked it better the second time. I showed it to Helena, and she loved it. So
I
took
like
that
the
from
mention
her.
of the tape measure because that was one of the biggest laughs I had, where he's seen this awful suspect stuff in this basement, and he's like, and we're looking at it as audience going, no way, get the hell out of there. All of a sudden he's like measuring it for more
Yeah, more square footage.
It's like, oh, dog cages with you know, oh, nothing to see here. Just more square footage.
All right, and Nate's number one, which surprised me to be honest, but A Quiet Place Part Two.
You know, it's weird. If you'd asked me what's my favorite horror film of the last 5 years, I wouldn't have thought this one. And then it was when I was going through the list, I was going through 2020, and I dropped, because that's how I did it. I'd go through the year and I put down this and Invisible Man, and then as I was adding more, I'd change the order. Like I'd drop it in here, drop it in there, and this ended up at the top. And when I finished the list, it's like, is this really my favorite? Is this really the best? And then I thought about why not? It's actually really freaking good. Like I liked the first movie a lot, but I think I like this one more. And I I don't know what it is. I think the Emily Blunt's character was really interesting to what she had to do to go out, the bravery to take a baby and her children on the road, like basically how she had to, and that they figured out how to beat these things, so they have kind of it's kind of like they have the Death Star plans with them, right? We need to deliver this so that everyone knows how to beat the Empire here, and we can get back to normalcy. And then the reluctant Han Solo character of Cillian Murphy,
It
doesn't
was
want to get
badass.
involved. Yeah, Cillian Murphy was fantastic in this, and he's got to get to Yavin 4 and get those plans or whatever. um, but it's this great hero's journey version of like Quiet Place, and with some really great characters and tense stuff and big epic, sequences and suspenseful sequences.
Yeah, the opening was amazing.
Yeah, I just
The scene on the dock was like edge of your seat. You know,
oh yeah, it's just yeah. I don't know if it's my I don't know if it should be number one, but why not? That's how I kind of look at it. Like
for today, it's number one.
yeah, I think it's just I don't have a fault for it at all.
It's a fantastic movie, and I wish I remembered this for my list because I love Quiet Place Part Two a lot. Like I love the first two. The third one not so much, but I think this is great. Just like as a sequel, the way it escalates everything, and there's a lot of good stuff in this. Really builds up
Tension.
the first one well,
Yeah, and the tension in the first two especially, man.
and I love the score for both of the films. Quite powerful.
Yeah. So that's Nate's number one. You can yell at him in the comments if you want.
Yeah, all you want. Give me your top 10. How about that? When people
Yeah.
start shitting on everybody, it's like, hey, how about you share your list? But most people don't take the time to do that. They don't.
I will always do it. I love a good list. You know me, though.
Yeah.
This takes me longer than you guys, apparently. So we're going to move on to Seth. He's got some honorable mentions. We'll get Pearl out of the way because that's one of your honorable mentions. You sadistic asshole. It's one of the best, and you put it in honorable mentions? Get out of here.
Yeah, I put it in honorable mentions because it would be probably number 11. I love Pearl. I think it's a fantastic film. I love the way that it's shot. I love Mia Goth's performance. I love David Cornsweet in it. I think it's just a really good movie. And that scene where she's chasing after her sister-in-law is incredible. It's just this was just kind of edged out by other films that I think I'd be able to rewatch more. This is sort of one that it's I have to be in a certain mood to watch at least the first two of this trilogy. I don't like the third one at all, but yeah, I think Pearl's a fantastic movie. It would probably be number 11. Again, we had to pick just 10 from 5 years worth of stuff, and
At least I didn't make you pick 10 from the 80s. I'm just saying.
True.
And now that's happening. Congratulations. You're like a kid complaining in class. You want more homework?
I still can't put together my list of 25 for the 80s.
You need to because I want to do that show. You jerk. Get it done. I'm going to be the bad teacher here. Oh, you don't like homework? Here's some more. You also have a movie that I really liked as well, The Night House. This is a fucking good movie. Nate, I don't remember. Did you even see this one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw this. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really solid. I mean, she's fantastic. But yeah, this was like Hellraiser's in good hands. Watch.
That's exactly it, and that's the reason why I watched this because I think it was around the time that they announced that David Bruckner was and his writing partners were working on Hellraiser, and then I heard that this film, this concept for The Night House, originated as a Hellraiser film, and then they, of course, had to change some stuff up and kind of make it their own. And so I watched it just as a Hellraiser fan. Just to see, because I don't think I've seen anything from Bruckner before this, and it gave me the confidence in his take on Hellraiser. But I think this is a really good movie, really good story and concept, and I think an intriguing enough mystery. It's got a great performance. I forget her name. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Rebecca Hall.
Yep. She's a really good actress. I like her. So this is one that I need to own. This one I don't have it, but I need to get it.
Did you ever see that movie Christine that she did about the woman who killed herself I guess based on true story?
No, I don't know.
You gotta check that out. That was wild. Kevin Roach played by Freddy Krueger. He told me about Christine, and I checked it out. It's again based on a true story, and I think I'd heard about it, but she was phenomenal in it. It was a really good movie.
Are there any shitters in it?
There's one.
Okay.
Sure.
Seth third. Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah, this is a film, I know that it didn't land with everybody. I know that, there's some kind of questionable CGI in certain areas where they didn't need it. But I love this film. I didn't necessarily love the way it ended because I felt like that infringed on Bram Stoker's story. But I love this film from start to finish. I think the acting is good across the board. I think it had it felt like old school type of filmmaking where it had patience, and it was kind of like building up story and character instead of kind of just jumping into action and whatever. But I think this is a great movie. I've seen this multiple times. I love it. I know that it did get some mixed reception from people. But yeah, this is another one that it was like, damn it, I want this one on my list, but I just couldn't.
Yeah. This is a good movie. My kids actually sat and watched this entire movie with me.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I own it. This was like one of the only movies I bought last year. All right, who's ready to see his top 10 and why this didn't make to the top 10?
You guys ready for a shit show?
Number 10, Werewolves.
Yes. Werewolves is an incredibly poorly written, but god damn it, it's fun B movie that I just absolutely loved. I had a good time seeing this in the theater when it came out. So yes, the story is dumb. Some of the stuff that the characters do is dumb. Some of the concepts in the movie aren't fully realized.
It's The Purge with werewolves. Come on.
Yeah, but it's just like this fun. For me, it's a fun B movie with Frank Grillo playing a scientist, former soldier. I don't know. I just like this concept too of like the supermoon just turning people randomly into werewolves. I love the look of the werewolves themselves from Al Gillis, who did design work for the Alien films. I love the fact that when people become werewolves, they still have some characteristics or clothing or whatever that they had on before. Like there's this one guy that's like ex-military and he wears like this vest that says Wolf Killer and he has war paint on. And when we see him as a werewolf, he still has all that stuff on. We see another guy with like a leather jacket, another werewolf, but with like a leather jacket. It's for me, it's just a fun B movie, right? It reminds me of the reason why I like slasher films from the 80s. All right, they're not great as far as writing, but they're just kind of fun to watch. They're popcorn movies. They're a nice greasy cheeseburger. That's what this is, and I'm a sucker for werewolves, so I had to prioritize this over Pearl. So yeah, this is the shit show we're getting into with my list, but yeah, that's werewolves.
You're dead to me.
So I don't know if Nate saw, but I know Ray saw it.
I did. It's not bad. I don't think it's terrible. I just like making fun of you for it. I like Frank Grillo a lot, so it's a fun. You're right. It's a fun B werewolf movie. You can sit back, throw some popcorn, and just kind of chill out. It's not anything to think critically about or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't care where you put it, of course. But it's fun to I like. It's funny, Nate. I think you saw it too. He sent me his top 10 and his 3 honorable mentions. And then added that Werewolf Castle movie. My lord.
Yeah.
To be fair, I actually like Werewolf Castle.
I know you do. I'm
not ashamed to admit it.
It's the movie where they use 3 locations for 17 different locations. Anyway, moving on to number 9.
Yes, Evil Dead Rise. A film I really enjoy, although it's hard with the Evil Dead franchise because I like every single one of them. So it's kind of like hard to figure out where I place each one. This one is actually more towards the bottom of my list, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, one has to fill that bottom part, you know.
Yeah, it just right from the opening, I thought it was great. I've seen it like probably like 5 times now. I enjoy rewatching it when I do. It's just if I'm in the mood for any Evil Dead film, I'm gonna put in probably most of the ones.
2013, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Evil Dead Rise, I think is it's fun. I liked the new setting. I liked the characters. I liked a lot of stuff that happened in it. Felt like it was like it was like a good follow up to 2013, and it kind of had some Sam Raimi type things going on with it. I think in certain moments, but yeah, I enjoy Evil Dead Rise. I think it's really cool, and it's kind of like it for me. It hasn't quite held up upon each rewatch. I'm kind of thinking a little bit less of it, which is why it kind of slid down my Evil Dead ranking list. But it's still really enjoyable, and Alyssa Sutherland is incredible in her performance in this movie. No cap.
No cap. More to come. Number 8.
Yeah, Dark Harvest. This one surprised me. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. I think, in fairness, David Slade is a good director. I love 30 Days a Night. Not so much his Twilight film, but that's neither here nor there. But I like the kind of like the 50s aesthetic to this. I thought the story was pretty unique and engaging. And I think it's just a good like Halloween film to watch. It's like a film to watch in October that's not called Halloween. So yeah, Dark Harvest is it surprised me how much I enjoyed it. I'm hoping to show it to my kids if they'll ever fucking sit down and watch a movie with me again.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, but yeah, I enjoyed this one quite a bit.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's cool. I had to buy that mask.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
Was it Trick or Treat Studios? I think it was. No, I think it was Trick or Treat Studios had it, but it's full, so I cut it to look like this. But I think it's the Trick or Treat Studios. It's the the Crimson, gore or whatever the Misfits use. That's what it is. They just cut it to look like this.
I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. And also, Evil Dead Rise was a movie I had a hard time leaving off of my top 10.
Evil Dead Rise is cool.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2013 is my favorite overall. Abigail.
Yes, number 7 is Abigail. This is a movie that I had fun with from start to finish, both times that I watched it. First time I saw it, I went with my oldest daughter, Scarlett. We saw it in the movie theater, and we both had such a good time watching it. Sammy, those are fucking onions. It's just a line that's always just going to make me laugh. It's always going to make me laugh. I like the characters. I like the setting. I like the story. And kind of like nerd bonus points is the fact that they started this film off with Swan Lake playing, which is a nice little nod to Universal films of the past, like Dracula and The Mummy. So I enjoyed that. And then after I got on Blu-ray, I showed it to my youngest daughter, Violet, and my girlfriend, Amber, and they both really loved it as well. I think it's just it's a fun movie.
It is. It's a fun one. It was in my top 10 of last year, if I'm not mistaken. think, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Nate, you got anything on Abigail?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, I think these guys make some really interesting movies. I'm excited to see what they do next. Like, I think, aren't they making like a Ready or Not sequel?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, when this one came out, I was like, I want to see, Samara and what's her name to play the main girl in this one from
Melissa Barrera.
Scream. Yeah, I want to see those two team up and fight werewolves in a mansion. So,
Dude, my ticket is already sold on that.
Yeah,
get on it.
I'd
Bring
watch
it
that
up.
for sure. I have some kind of weird crush on Samara Weaving. I guess it's not weird, but because she's fucking yum yum.
Well, she's awesome in like everything she's in. So
She is.
okay, so yeah, Malum. This was an interesting one for me. So quite a few years ago, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, but I remember Amber was watching like this YouTube video about this movie called Last Shift, and I was like, "This movie looks cool. I want to see it," but then I kept forgetting what the title was. So fast forward a couple years later, as I'm scrambling to watch a bunch of movies for our end of the year list, I come across this movie called Malum, and I just clicked on it. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll watch it. And as the movie was playing, I'm like, this seems awfully familiar to that movie that I keep forgetting. And so I paused the movie and looked up if this was a remake, and it turned out this was a remake of Last Shift from the same director as that film. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So I saw the remake before the original, and I think that's why I love both equally.
That's called pulling array, by the way.
Huh?
That's called pulling array.
Pulling array. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you did with Night of the Living Dead, right?
And a few other movies, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Malum is good and justifiable with the fact that it's different enough from Last Shift, where they add a little bit more to the backstory of the things that happen with the cult and with the lead character's father and all of that. Things happen similarly, but also a little differently than that film. So
Did you get to watch Last Shift?
Yes, I've seen that multiple times now. Because after I saw this, I was like, I definitely have to watch that. So I ordered the Blu-ray. I feel like this movie wasn't nearly as good, as particularly with that one scene where she gets locked into the cell and she has the flashlight. I thought it was a really like effective moment in Last Shift, and in this one, not so much. But I think overall, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was different enough from the original where I can kind of look at it as like almost like a companion piece. And I just enjoyed both films very much, and I think we should cover them at some point.
No. Moving on to number 5. No, yeah, I'd like to see this just more than because I like Last Shift. Like more than anything, just to at least compare the two. And that's it. But I don't think this is streaming anywhere. And I don't just buy stuff anymore. I got deeply problematic collecting issue right now, and it's unfortunately not movies. It's crack cocaine. So anyway.
Hashtag real shit.
Hashtag real shit. Yeah. Okay.
Just keeping up with the kids today.
Yeah, I guess.
Oddity, I know that not everyone loved this one either, but I really enjoyed it. This movie had me hooked right from the beginning. And I love the fact that we don't see what happens. Like, you know, it starts off with a stranger showing up at this place that's being renovated, and he wants to come in, and we see her reach for the door. Then it goes to credits, and then it's a year later, and we find out that she died. And her sister or whatever doesn't really believe that she would be stupid enough to open the door. And I just like the way that this film plays out. I think it's very interesting. It's weird, like with the wooden guy moving around. I think Nate said it best when he was like, "It's a very Clive Barker feeling film." I think there are definitely things about it that feel very Clive Barker like, and I don't know. This film, this film grabbed me right from the start. I was invested from beginning to end. I love it so much. I immediately bought the Blu-ray for it, so I enjoy it. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but
Yeah, like
I like
said,
it.
the Clive Barker thing, it was just all around a really creepy movie.
yeah,
It just creeps me out a bit, like, and that doesn't happen often. It was just something, and again, original. It was different. I'd never seen anything like it.
Well, I think a lot of that lends itself to the atmosphere of the film in general, especially after the credits roll. It feels off, you know.
I thought it was really creepy too in that like moment where, what was it, the sister or it was either the sister or the husband of the woman from the beginning. Like they find like her like video camera, and like so we see like a perspective of like, oh no, wait, or was it that I can't remember exactly how everything went, but I remember the chick was looking at the cameras, and you start to see that there was like a shadow behind her. Like I don't know, it was just really, really well done. I think it was well directed, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Dude, my list is so bad. There's no one watching anymore.
Jared, I think, had it ranked pretty high on his list last year. Oh, I got the wrong year on Saw 4 or Saw 10. It's 2023. Sorry.
This was one of the biggest surprises of I've ever had, because I was not a big fan of the series, but I absolutely love this one.
Yeah, I think this was a great entry. It was a nice return to form after 7, 8, and 9. So Saw Roman numeral 10. I just, for starters, let me just say I'm a huge fan of the Saw franchise in general. I really like all of them. But this one was a surprise to me because I was expecting maybe just your standard typical Saw sequel, and I was surprised that there was more to it. I love the fact that it kind of flips everything, and so now like John Kramer and Amanda Young are the protagonists instead of antagonists, and I'll never say that Saw, any of the Saw films are deep or anything like that, but I love the fact that they used a little exchange of dialogue from Saw 6 as the jumping off point for the story, as far as John seeking this experimental procedure. And then I think this film also kind of adds to Amanda's dilemma in Saw 3, with the fact that she couldn't really accept John's philosophy in his way because she felt things differently. And this film kind of adds a little bit of context to that, where we get to see her kind of rooting for someone who's in one of the traps, and this person survives the traps and should live based on John's rule, but this person is killed by the film's actual antagonist. So you could kind of look at that as like sort of like this film is sort of like context for how Amanda is in Saw 3. But yeah, this film I think is one of the strongest in the series. It's like my second or third favorite in the franchise. The whole thing with the saw and the leg, with the what's that called, the Geely saw or whatever, Melee saw, whatever. That my leg hurt in the theater watching it. But.
Yeah, Saw 10's good. More on that in a couple of weeks.
Hmm. Okay, I'm alone on an island on this one. I get it.
I liked it. It's not my number 30, but I liked it.
Yeah. Uh, Blackout, I think, is just a really good character-driven, story-driven werewolf film. It's also a metaphor for alcoholism. Um, I really liked Alex Hurt's performance. I love the way that he moves as the werewolf. I like the score. I like the story. I like almost everything about it. I do have some issues with it, particularly in the third act and with how a certain scene kind of plays out. But I think overall, this film I thought was just really well done from Larry Fessenden. I've watched this multiple times, so for me, it's completely rewatchable, and I enjoy it every time. I understand why certain people may not enjoy it because it is a little, slow paced. It is a little dialogue heavy at times. There's not, there is werewolf action in it, but not a whole lot. But I think it is just a really good character piece. I think the the filmmaking is good. I just really enjoyed it. Nate just said that you liked it, right?
Yeah, it has its shortcomings for budget reasons, but the
Definitely.
story is solid. And Larry's always, he's like he's one of those like fathers of independent horror, in many ways. When he made Habit, and he's supportive of the genre. He pops up in a lot of young filmmakers, indie horror filmmakers' films. And I think it's one of his better films. Again, even though it's got the budget problems, um, I didn't mind the cheapness of it. I think the story um, was strong enough to overlook that. It's kind of like Clerks. I always like someone once compared my first movie to Clerks because it's like obviously no one was an actor, not in this case, but like in Clerks, like it didn't matter that they were all just Kevin's friends and it was a low budget movie. It was so funny and so interesting that I think it's one of the best comedies ever made. And it's like it's not one of the best horror movies ever made, but it's one of the better werewolf movies, I think, especially in
Yeah.
the last 20 years.
Oh, for sure. Ray, I don't remember. Did you like this one or no? Or were you kind of like indifferent to it? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm kind of into. I love Larry Fessenden a lot, but I don't know, man. It was. I mean, we got boobs right away, and then there was like a boob embargo for the rest of the movie, and no, it was okay. It just didn't. I don't know, man. I didn't like the main character at all. I think
Oh,
that
you
was one
didn't?
of the
Yeah.
No, I hated the guy. So that was a big problem. Addison Tillman looks like cocaine's a hell of a drug now because she was like when she played Stormy,
Yeah,
forget
I know.
about it.
She was a fox. Yeah.
But no, I don't know. It felt like there was something missing in this. Like I felt like I was missing something the whole time. It was whatever, for
It's
me.
not very like it's not. It doesn't feel very theatrical either. Like it feels kind of like
Yeah.
like low budget, like made for DVD type. But yeah, I get it. I love this film a lot, but I completely understand why people don't. So
Yeah, it's just not for everybody.
exactly.
That's why it's your favorite.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nope, nobody has either one of those.
I like them.
Yep, I like them too. I thought about adding Thanksgiving to mine.
Yes, Hellraiser 2022. I love this film. Uh, I'm a huge Hellraiser fan in general. I liked the idea of Cenobites, the look of them kind of going back to the way they're described a little bit in the novella, with it being like more like torn, flayed flesh, kind of making it look like they have suits or whatever. People complain about the characters not being likable enough. You came to the wrong franchise if you're looking for likable characters.
That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, and if you think that Riley is bad, I would like to introduce you to the detective Joseph Thorne in Hellraiser Inferno. This film is, I think, really solid because even though I like most of the sequels, I do have to admit that the quality dropped hardcore. And this one, I really fucking wish was in the movie theater. This was so, I think, production design and cinematography wise, this film felt like a theatrical film. And it sucks that it was just a Hulu release. I would have loved to have seen this in the movie theater. I think it's incredibly well directed. I think the acting's good for most everyone, and Jamie Clayton, I think, knocked it out of the park as the Hell Priest. I liked the new box and the new rules and all the additional mythology. Hellraiser 2022 is definitely a film that will probably likely stay in this spot for the remainder of the decade unless something else just kind of blows my mind more.
Again, more to come.
Yeah, I thought it was really solid. And I liked the characters. I liked the main girl. I liked her storyline. I need to go back to it, but I liked it. That dog.
What happens seconds after this picture is taken?
Well, never been forgotten.
Well, good choice with the photo.
Yeah, I didn't want to go back to the one I used the last time we had this.
When Evil Lurks is just to this day, it's my favorite of the decade so far. It's gonna be a tough one to top. I think it's a relentless, it's unforgiven, it's just insanely batshit crazy. It's compelling. I love this film from beginning to end. It's a film that, if I know someone who can handle watching film with subtitles, I'm like, you have to watch this. This movie, just like The Truck and Pet Sematary, it hits hard. And just like Gage
Like a dog
Creed,
bite to the head.
and just like Gage Creed, that joke will never get old. But When Evil Lurks, I think, is just one of the best of the decade, in my personal opinion, just because it is a hard-hitting horror film. It doesn't care about your feelings. Like I said before, when we talked about this a little bit in 2023, this movie is the equivalent of Randy Marsh walking down the streets of South Park with his balls in a wheelbarrow. Like, that's what it is. So, yeah, I love and adore When Evil Lurks.
Yeah, good filmmakers. And they made that movie Terrified before this, and that was excellent as well.
I still need to see that. I put that on my watch list.
Yeah, you'll dig that.
Yeah.
It's on Shudder, isn't it?
I don't know if it's Shudder or not.
It was at one point. I know for sure it was on Shudder, but I don't know if it still is because it was on my watch list on Shudder for a long time.
Okay, it might have either been like Shudder or Prime for me. I can't remember what, but
It might be on Prime. It might be on both. You could watch it twice. All right, my list is a little bit different. My honorable mentions, we got Fresh, which was I saw on Hulu at the behest of my ex-girlfriend Sherry, and I really liked it. First of all, I am a complete and utter uh, Sebastian Stan, I guess. I love the guy. He's a great actor. I think he can do anything, and I do think he should be Luke Skywalker
Should.
before it's too late. Before he turns into Mark Hamill. And I have nothing against Mark Hamill. I love Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's in the 70s now, of course. But yeah, this was a fun movie. I didn't expect to see what I saw, and I don't really want to spoil much of it, but got to keep that meat fresh. Am I wrong? And I, after going back, because that was my top 10 originally, I was like, how did we not have X on our list? I loved X. X is a typical throwback 70s slasher that takes place in a farmhouse with like a secluded, isolated location. You got the threat of an alligator and the swamp, and a couple of crazy old people, while these youngins are making a porno in their little barn house. So Mia Goth, I don't think this was the first time I saw her, but it's the first time I recognized her, if that makes sense. And I loved her. And yeah, X is awesome. And I loved Maxine. I didn't the first time I saw it, but I've watched it like 4 times now, and every time I watch it, I like it more. And the second time I watched it was after it hit HBO Max or whatever the fuck it's called, and I was like, I get this movie a lot more. And Nate, how'd you describe it earlier? Kind of a De Palma type.
Yeah, very Brian De Palma. Like
Yeah.
some of his like movies like Body Double and Dress to Kill and was it Obsession and then like Blowout and stuff like that. He definitely borrowed from De Palma, but then again, De Palma borrowed from Hitchcock, so it's all relative.
But even so, I see a lot of elements of Sergio Martino or even Dario Argento influence Giallo vibes in this movie.
Maybe
as well.
even some Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this movie, and it solidifies my love affair with Mia Goth. And I know a lot of people don't like it as much as the first two, but it's mentioned, but not as on our lists. It's a must watch on Shudder. Yeah. I really like Maxine, and I decided to put it in my honorable mentions because I like all 3 of those movies. So a lot. Anyway, my top 10 list is going to look a little bit different. Number 10 is Hell House LLC Origins of Carmichael Manor. I'm not like crazy about found footage movies, but there's something about the Hell House movies that I really, really like. And I'm probably alone on this, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah. They're good, and that one's the best one.
Yeah, it is the best one. It's just this one, like the first 2, didn't creep me out almost at all. I'm like, okay, these aren't bad found footage movies. I like the way that they did them. And the third one, I was like, oh, these are done. But they released this one, and I'm like, well, holy shit, this might be the best one. There's some really tense moments. There's a great scene when they try to leave the house in the woods that I really liked. It's just, I'm really looking forward to the next one that I think is coming out. I think it's next year, unfortunately. But I'll be there for it because I like this one a lot. Seth loves found footage movies.
Yep, sure don't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of these at all, but I'll give them a shot.
I don't think they're your cup of tea, but give them a shot. You might like it. This is the best one. It's the 4th one, and the last one, I think it's next year. I think they just got funding for the newest one earlier this year, so I'm looking forward to it because I dig them. The 3rd one's not the best. That's probably the worst one, which is okay. But yeah, I think they're on Shudder. I'm almost certain they're on Shudder. I could be wrong. I could be right. So I'm trying to make sure my list is in order here because they're not. I think number 9 is this one, which we spoke about a little bit earlier in Nate's uh, honorable mentions, which is Invisible Man. I love this scene in the restaurant where we see that nobody's paying attention, obviously, because who pays attention to other people in the restaurant? And the knife just gets up and stabs her sister right in the goddamn neck, and then puts it right in her hand. It just, the thing I like about this is how powerless she is in this movie, up until towards the end when she kind of figures shit out and figures out what to do. But it was a really strong way to start out the decade, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one, hopefully it's right. Yes. Okay, When Evil Lurks. We just talked about this one. And so there's not much to say, but can you imagine taking an axe straight to the face?
Don't want to.
And what?
I don't want
And doing it by yourself? If, I mean, that scene that we were talking about with the dog alone is fucked up, but this also it caught me off guard, even though this is basically the poster, the silhouette. Yeah.
I think it was in a trailer too. I remember.
I didn't see the trailer for the movie.
Yeah.
I went in blind on this one, and I'm happy I did, because I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing half the time, Number 7, another one we talked about. This is why I wanted to go last. Hellraiser 2022. Really, really dig this movie. I've always been a fan of the Hellraiser movies, and this one, I was expecting to like it, to be honest, but how much was up for debate. And man, Seth and I remember when this came out, we were like, we need to talk about this immediately. And I think the day after, or maybe I think it was the day after, we had to just go live and talk about it, just because we liked it so much. Definitely a great movie. I think it is still on Hulu. Again, movies that we've already talked about. Evil Dead Rise. I'm a huge fan of Evil Dead 2013, which is not a remake. And I will say that till the day I die. It is not a remake. And Evil Dead Rise actually helps that argument. I love the idea of there are 3 different Necronomicon books, and I also love the way they included Bruce Campbell in his little cameo. But yeah, Miss Sutherland, boy, you are fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She was amazing. But I can't remember the actress's name, but her sister was fucking awesome. Yeah. And I want to see her and Jane Levy team up, because that would be like a dream for me, because I love Miss Levy as well. Nate knows that because I've talked about her enough. Can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to watch this again. I do love it very much, and I do plan to watch it again, because I haven't watched any Evil Dead movies this year. Another one we talked about, Nosferatu. I came out of the theater last year. I'm like, okay, because my number, I think, 2 movie or 3 movie, I can't remember what number it is, but yeah, my number 2 movie on my list was my number 1 movie of 2024 for the whole year, all year. It was the first one I saw, and then I changed it around a little bit. But I saw Nosferatu, and I was enthralled into, talk about a movie and feeling engrossed in what's going on, and Eggers knows how to make the atmosphere feel like you were there, in my opinion. The darkness of the theater and what was on screen really made your skin crawl, in my opinion. The performances were just out of control. I forever will love Nicholas Hoult. And what's his name? What's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson? I didn't even know it was him. That's how good he is. I had no clue. Someone was like, that guy's familiar. Who is that? And I've seen that guy in a ton of stuff, And Lily Rose Depp, she doesn't bother me, but Seth hates her guts. And he would be happy to never see her face again.
I don't hate her guts. I just, with the amount of close-ups on her in this film, it kind of drove me nuts a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't bother me one bit, but I like this movie quite a bit. And yet another one that we talked about. Of course, I talked about X and Maxine, but Pearl is superb. This was a great fucking movie, and I love Mia Goth, plain and simple. I'll watch anything with her in that. Even that one movie. What was that one movie? The Infinity Pool. Didn't care for it, but Mia Goth was in it, so I watched it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's what it was called.
yeah, Infinity Pool. But yeah, I liked it. Pearl quite a bit, and I'm very pleased with the trilogy after being able to watch which one call it multiple times. Maxine. I know a lot of people don't like Maxine, and yeah, that's fine. I am okay with people not liking Maxine because it doesn't affect the way I feel about it. You know?
Yeah. Did you see Nate's message?
No, do you have to go?
Yeah, he said it was the bedtime for his wifey. So
Okay, all good. Number 3, another one we talked about, Barbarian. This was my number 1 of 2022. I just really liked it. It was fun. You didn't know what was around each corner, literally, and you really didn't know what you were going to get with this movie, even by the trailer. And that's what a trailer should do. I did see the trailer for this, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is. And the title throws you off. So it's, if you've never seen it, go into it blind. Don't read reviews. Don't read synopsis. Just watch the fucking movie, because it doesn't play out any way you expect it to play out at all. That's the best way I can describe this movie.
and Conan does not make a single cameo.
No, and that's the reason I hated this movie, actually. Yeah. Conan, I didn't see him anywhere. Number 2 for the decade for me is Late Night with the Devil. I've watched this movie 4 times, and I like it more each time. Even the end, which Seth, you just said you didn't care for. But I really, I think a lot of it has to do with losing my wife. There's a lot of there's a lot to that with me, and it hits home with me. And that there was another movie we talked about earlier that kind of hit home with me as well. The Night House, losing a spouse. It's not easy. And the girl's creepy. I love the guy in the beautiful red jacket in the background who's trying to disprove everybody, you know. And there's a great scene where they hypnotize the co-host, you know. And it's just, I don't know, man. This is David Dastmalchian is awesome in this movie. He's becoming a favorite of mine, which I never thought would happen.
Oh yeah, like,
you know,
like his character in Last Voyage of the Demeter was my favorite character in that film.
yeah, same here. And at first I didn't even know it was him.
Yeah,
you know, and like you could tell it was someone's like, is that who I think it is? I can't tell. But he really like dives into these roles he's in. I mean, Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad movie, you know, he's just really, even no matter how small the role. And one of my favorite things about him, and I don't know if you knew this, Seth, he's a huge horror guy. He loves horror movies, which is awesome. I love hearing that about us actors and such. Oh, I love horror movies, and when they're real about it. But yeah, Late Night with the Devil is awesome.
Very good movie.
I'd love to do a show on this one for sure.
Yeah.
And my number 1, Seth, can you guess what my number 1 is?
Yes, I can.
What is it?
It's that movie that has nudity throughout the majority of it.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Yep.
No. Yes, The Substance, and it's not because of the nudity.
Well, that's what I like.
Yeah. Oh, the truth comes out. No, I mean, the movie itself is so weird. You've got this aging star with Demi Moore. Huh?
No, go on.
Did you watch this by because I don't spoil it.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Okay.
Like, Yeah, I'll give my thoughts in a second, but yeah.
Yeah,
Go on.
so this aging star is she's fired on her 50th birthday, I think, and they want to replace her with somebody younger, somebody more fresh, and she gets this card or a call. I can't remember which. I think it's a card, and or she talks to somebody. I can't remember exactly, but it's about this stuff called the substance that you take, and you'll start looking younger again. But she doesn't realize that her younger self crawls out of her fucking back, essentially, and which is funny because like the younger self ends up like stabbing her in the back, quite literally, with her career. But the movie itself, all the way up until the very end, I'm like, man, this is such a good movie. This is definitely top five. And then the end happens, and I fucking loved every second of it because it's batshit crazy. It was unexpected, and it was like everything to me. I'm like I was smiling ear to ear because it was so outrageous. And I don't always go for outrageous. I remember Morgan, one of our writers from the Horror Syndicate, said, "I'm either going to absolutely love this movie or absolutely hate it. There's no mid ground." And she was right. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite of the decade by far.
Yeah, so like this one, like as I was watching it, for the majority of it, I'm like, yeah, this is a really good movie, really good story, great acting across the board, great acting. And then the title card pops up, Monstro Lizasu, or whatever it was. And I was like, no fucking way. Are we doing this? The movie's not over? And this is where it goes into David Cronenberg fly territory. And it made me happy. I don't, obviously love it as much as you do, but this film it was so insane. I enjoyed it. Gotta say, Demi Moore still looks pretty damn good.
And she's not 50; she's in her 60s.
Yep.
Yeah. The one disappointing thing is the actress who played the younger version of Demi Moore, who actually she's going to have one hell of a career ahead of her because she was excellent. But Margaret Qualley, I think was her name. Her nudity was not her nudity. She had fake buns and fake boobs on. Yeah, disappointing to hear that because I was like, God damn, she's hot. But she's good. She was really good in the movie though, and as was Demi Moore, which talk about a comeback. She's making a comeback. I love The Substance. It's definitely my favorite. And
well, I mean, Dennis Quaid is so fun in this film.
yeah, he is.
This is a film that, you know how like there's the discussion of like films, particularly today, having a message and kind of beating you over the head with it, like Black Christmas 2019. This is a film that had a message to it, but it was smart about it in the way that it was integrated into the story and with certain themes, particularly involving Dennis Quaid's character being this old man telling Demi Moore that she's aged out. He gets to keep his career, she doesn't. Like, it's not beating you over the head with a message, but it's there. I think it's smart with how it plays with certain themes and stuff. Yeah, this was a really good body horror film.
Yeah. And I'm not a giant body horror person, but man, this movie it ruled. It legit ruled, and I love it. Definitely my favorite movie of the year, and my favorite movie of the last 5 years. And this year so far, I've only seen four, which are The Monkey, Companion, which actually doesn't say it's a horror movie anywhere, which I know that bothers Nate when I say that stuff, but it also just I don't know, something about The Companion that was just blah about it. Like it's his number one for 2025. It's my number three because The Wolfman exists. And what was the other one? Hard Eyes. So none of those measure up to uh, The Substance. Yeah, and I still haven't seen 28 Years Later, but I don't expect that to surpass it. I don't expect Sinners to surpass it. I don't know. We'll see.
I
We'll see
love
what
28.
2025 brings.
I love 28 Years Later. I think that's my favorite of the year so far. Just story wise, I love it. And then The Monkey. That's my clear number 2. Then I think Hard Eyes. No, Final Destination Bloodline. Then Hard Eyes. Because Final Destination Bloodline I thought was a blast. Hard Eyes was a lot of fun. I think everything I've seen after that I have not liked.
Everything else you've seen after that is werewolves.
Well, there's like 4 werewolf films that I've seen that I don't like any of them. I mean, it's not that I dislike Wolfman, but I'm kind of indifferent to it, which is a shame for someone like me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a letdown because I was like, okay, I have hopes for this. I didn't really see much of the trailers or marketing or anything like that, but I don't know. It was pretty much a disappointment.
I was going to mention this. Yeah, Adam mentions that Sinners is coming to Max on Friday.
Oh, good. Good deal. I'll
Yeah,
watch it
so
then because I really want to see that.
Yeah, I'm planning on. Yeah, Amber and I are going to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do something until Superman comes out.
I know. So excited.
I just rewatched all the Resident Evil movies with my son because I played Resident Evil 2, and I was like, "You ever see the movies?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, let's do it." So we just watched all of those. They're not great, but they're fun for what they are.
I like the third one the best.
I think that's my favorite too. I like 5 a lot too, Retribution, after watching it, but I think part of it is because playing the video games, I was a big fan of Leon, and Leon's in that, and so is Ada Wong.
Was that the one where like she was having like visions of sorts, like she was like under mind control or whatever, and like they had like the guy from part 2 who was also in The Mummy, like, and he was like her husband.
Yeah, those were clones. Yeah, they had those underwater like testing facilities, and one was the suburbs, and she was married to Odette Fair, who, of course, was in The Mummy, and Deuce Bidlow.
I like that one too. The only one I really hate is part 4. I can't stand part 4. I don't know why.
Part 4 was such a small film. You know what I mean? In scope, like it felt like it should have been like the whole movie. That was like 30 minutes worth of movie spread out over 90 minutes.
And it was just like so like derivative of like the Matrix and stuff. Like, I don't know. The 4th one just pissed me off.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to do one of those. Did you see Where?
Yes.
Where?
That movie is really good.
I've heard. I'm just not into werewolves. I've tried. I've seen 50, and that's my cap. I'm stopping. No more werewolf movies ever again.
You say that's your cap, but what if I tell you?
Don't do it. I know what you're gonna say. I know exactly what you're about to say.
I've been annoying the hell out of my kids by like speaking their language of sorts.
Yeah, they don't like that. The other day, me and Reynolds were talking about something. I think, what was it? It was about a game coming out. I think it was Gears of War 5, or no, some Gears of War anyway. I was like, yeah, I don't care if it gets pushed back because I want the best game possible. Let them cook. And he's like, what did you just say? I'm like, let them cook? He's like, where did you hear that? I'm like, that's been a phrase for a long time, my friend. It is. It makes sense. Let them cook. He doesn't like me saying stuff like that. Oh, well.
My kids roll their eyes, but they laugh because I tell them about dad law and, how dad law chapter 23, section 7B states that dads are allowed to tell cringe jokes.
True.
It is true. It's a real thing. I didn't
no
make
cap.
Right.
Anyway, well, that's it. That's our show. Our top 10s of the 2020s so far. There's a lot of. I think there are. At least, let me see, the ones that I've seen so far in this decade. I'm gonna look because I got to count. There are at least 181 different horror movies that I've seen since 2020 started. That's a lot. And we named what, maybe 20 different horror movies, because most of mine were like yours and his. That's why I went last. Plus, I knew it would only take me about 5 minutes to go through mine. So, anyway. Seth, you got anything you want to say before we go?
Yes. Don't forget, Ray, tomorrow, Silver Bullet for the Werewolf Wednesday show. Feel free to jump on and join. Nate's going to be joining, so it'd be kind of neat to have a Werewolf Wednesday show with you guys. And other than that, the only other thing I have to say is Evil Dies Tonight.
In here, old man.
You dumb son of a bitch. You said you saw Myers.
Ted Hollister.
Shit, Earl, that's Ted Hollister.
Dude, I watched Halloween 1 and 2 a couple of days ago, I before last show actually. And I went to go watch Halloween 3, and Reynolds was like, he was downstairs like, no, I don't want to watch that one right now. Let's wait till October. I was like, all right. And he's like, why don't you just start Halloween 4? And so I started watching Halloween 4, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't do this. I gotta watch 3 first. So I had to stop at about maybe. I don't think they got out of Jamie's bedroom. That's as far as I got in it. So if that tells you anything, I did get to see the thumb to the forehead, which I love. So
yeah.
Anyway, for anybody who missed the show live and is with us at this point, sorry that it didn't go live on Facebook. I don't know what the fuck the problem is. There's I say it every time this happens. There's some kind of disconnect with StreamYard and Facebook that sometimes it makes an event out of it and posts it in a fucking event, and it's stupid. The closer I do it to the showtime, it generally doesn't do that. But I posted this earlier today just to see if it would work, and it didn't. So fucking get your shit together, StreamYard and Facebook. This is not an event.
It is different.
Oh, did you see that Superman statue they have on the top of that building in London?
No.
Yeah, I know you don't like social media anymore, but there's a lot of shit I've been wanting to send you, but I can't because it's on Facebook. So anyway,
Can you do like screenshots or something?
no, it was a video of all of them up on that building and the statue behind him. It's pretty cool. You'll just look it up, London Superman. You'll find it. Anyway, I'm glad you liked your package.
Yes, thank you. And even with that like little mix up there where like you sent me the thing that I already had, I like having 2 of them. Because I got one like flying up and then the other like flying forward. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got this guy on one of the Facebook groups I'm in for the collecting. He was selling some of his stuff, and I'll be honest with you, he lowballed me hard on a lot of the stuff. Because, like, that Azrael figure I showed you last week, I got the other 2, which is the blue one like this, and the one with the cape. And the one with the cape in a box goes for about $90 to $100. But so I got the 3 Azraels for about $80 total. And then he's like, I got other stuff for sale. And he showed me this Nightwing that's about $60 out of the box. I got that. A Catwoman from Nightfall. I got that. Actually, she's right here.
was cool.
Yeah, which I already had, but I was like, if he's selling it for cheap, so I paid like $150 for all these figures, and I was like, oh, what do you want for that Superman Reeve figure? He's like 15. I was like, shit, okay, I'm gonna get that for Seth. And
Yeah.
then you ruined it.
Yeah, but it worked out perfectly, though, in my opinion.
I wish it was the drunk Superman though, because it would be even more perfect.
Oh, that would have been great. They should do that.
Somebody posted a picture of their drunk Superman like back looking at their liquor cabinet. I was like, holy shit, this is gold. The things you can do with that figure.
I love like when they remember when that first image was released of Superman 2025, and it was the one of him sitting and putting on his boots,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the thing in the background. Like the people who want to hate the film like made memes out of it. And my favorite one was they put Christopher Reeve, Superman from Superman 3, sitting at the bar pouring himself a drink with that same background. That was pretty funny.
It was funny. There's a lot of good ones too. I still have a bunch on my phone. Oh man. In 1 week you'll have seen it.